All right. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? Market is getting wild out here on FOMC day. We're seeing the SPY pull back in a pretty hard way already. SPY pulled back down towards 667. It initially gapped up this morning and actually broke yesterday's high. And honestly, like, as I woke up, I was like, are you kidding me? We just saw the sell-off right away. It was a pretty crazy sight. There's the bell. Let's go. Xavier, Wes, Toro, the good guy, Jake, Almighty, and Ramirez. Welcome in. This is our first live of the day. We're going to have a second one coming up after lunchtime for Jerome Powell's FOMC press conference and speech. Of course, we'll be live for the interest rate decision itself, too. Market should move a little bit, at least from that. On the last time that we had this decision, it was on January 28th. Let me go back and show you guys, because the market didn't really do a damn thing, unfortunately. It was... So what's weird is that it happened right here. This is where we saw it play out. Nothing happened. Now, the next day it opened, we saw a massive drop-off. But we had Microsoft earnings mixed into this mix as well on January 28th. Let's go to Microsoft. Go back to the 28th. You can see in after hours, Microsoft was falling, and then the next morning it continued falling, and AI fears crept in, and the overall market dropped. It wasn't necessarily Powell causing that dip back on January 28th. Or 29th, I should say, the day after. But the day he spoke, nothing happened. Today, though, I think that we can anticipate something a bit different. The market is probably anticipating Powell to say something about inflation and all these strikes happening. Now, this is something that impacts, of course, the consumer a lot. Because whenever you start to see gas prices going up, consumers get affected in a big way. Hell, I've already had friends complaining to me about it. You know, for me, it's not really a big deal, but I think for a lot of people, it definitely is, and they don't really care, or they don't really feel things too much until we start to see like food prices, energy prices, things like that starting to rise. And in this case, energy prices is what's really making them feel that right now. Market was green earlier. Was the pullback on Iran bombing of some energy site? Yeah, there is actually. There was some news that came out. I haven't quite gotten to it yet, but there's been a few updates going on here with this news. It says Israel bombed natural gas infrastructure in Iran. Oil prices were moving. So if we go look at crude oil, you can see it popped up this morning up to around 98 a barrel, and it's been doing pretty good. So crude oil moving back higher is definitely a fear. We also had news that Israel said it killed Iran's intelligence minister, its third assassination in 2 days. Now, I'm not seeing any headlines here initially on what you said. Iran bombing of some energy site. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. Let's see. I mean, they've been kind of hitting a lot of energy sites. I don't know exactly which one we're talking about here, but it's I saw most of the news coming with like Israel. But again, it's just like headline after headline after headline. Here we go. It says Iran says U.S. and Israel struck giant gas field. Sucks to see stocks kind of erasing those gains, though, because the market was looking pretty good until those gains were erased. Nice gap up initially today. It just all came on in there in the morning. Yeah, largest gas field in the world. Wow. That's the one you meant? Okay. Yep, that's it. Iran didn't do it, but we definitely hit it ourselves. Go check on some updates here. New headlines hitting at this very second. Nothing new. Nothing new really over the past 30 minutes. Qatar's foreign minister said that Israel's targeting of facilities linked to Iran's South gas field is not good. So Qatar does not like Israel hitting the gas field. But all of this comes together for creating this downwards move. Tesla is coming back at open, though. Pretty nice pop back so far. We'll see if that can sustain. Nvidia, unfortunately, not popping back. Actually popping more to the downside, down 0.34% on the day. Big chip stock. Now, yesterday we saw WDC and we saw SNDK doing very well. SNDK is holding above its all-time high here, using the previous high as support. Sean has me cracking up in the Discord right now. Light is moving up again, good guy said. LITE, Lumentum, 725 up 12%. Look at the daily chart for LITE. Crushing it here. Looking at my watch list on the day. It's a little laggy, but Baidu leads it up 2.8%. Throwing light on there. There we go. SWMR, check it out, Jason says. Yeah, I saw some people looking at SWMR yesterday. I saw some people posting about it, but for some reason, I'm not getting data on it. What is going on? Let me go to Thinkorswim really fast. There we go. It's weird. I would have thought TradingView would have had it. The 4506, very nice day coming onto the market yesterday. Gosh, Thinkorswim is lagging here this morning. SWMR, 38% gap up here. Trying to move higher from open too. Wild price action coming off of yesterday. Ha. You don't even need to, Cornish. You don't even need to. Tesla is pushing $400. Huge psychological level and zone at this very second. There's not really any stocks here. There's not really like any stocks that are wowing me on the watch list this morning, except for Lumentum. Rocket Lab, which was crushing it yesterday, is down today, 6%, pulling back hard at open. Too bad, so sad for them. I actually really would have enjoyed a nice uptrend from Rocket Lab this morning. I think that would have been one of the best opportunities of the day, given their momentum lately. J-Duck says Roblox. RBLX. It's a nice pop up there. 59.50. 2.7% for Roblox. It's a big jump. 59.50 though is a big resistance too. Gonna have to be a little careful here at this resistance zone. If that starts breaking though, that might be good confirmation up. Good confirmation for a nice solid scalp. BMNR to the downside here this morning. 3.9% as Bitcoin pulls back, pretty much mimicking Bitcoin's move. Bad drop by Bitcoin with down 1.89%. Definitely not the drop you want to be seeing there by the crypto leader, I'll say. Yup, after today, Powell only has one speech left. So as of now, technically two. But that's it. Then he'll be gone. He probably won't act much as a Fed governor. He'll probably be done with that. Who knows? Maybe he'll end up being Treasury Secretary or something like that later on. Obviously not for Trump, though. Definitely not for Trump. Yeah, I don't think that there'll be another one like it, Sean. It's weird how it went that way, too. Who knows? Maybe there will. Maybe there will. Tesla's through 400, sitting at 401.80. 402's coming up. Tesla's getting some strength back here, pushing the high of pre-market and the high of yesterday a bit. It's a solid move to see here from Tessie. Rest of the Mag 7 is very slow except for Google, which is up 0.26%. Nice movement from open. Besides that, everything else has been pretty slow. Apple dropped, popped, and is kind of falling off. It's break even on the day, slash red. Meta's red. Amazon's red. Microsoft's red. Nvidia's red. SPY's red. No surprise that SPY's red there. With all the red hitting. SPY's a big red candle now coming in on the 1 minute too. Ooh, Trump just waived the Jones Act bid to curb higher prices. Trump waives the Jones Act and bid to curb high fuel prices. SPY is falling since I saw this news hit, but let's see if it starts to recover a bit more. I wonder if this will help crude oil. Or speaking of oil, we have to look at that on Thinkorswim. Oil was popping. It's still popping right now. We'll see if this news starts to hit it in more of a negative way, though. Because he's trying to curb high fuel prices. I guess oil, fuel, you know, it kind of runs together. It might not be the biggest thing in the world, but it says that the waiver applies to oil, gas, fertilizer, and coal. Might see a little volatility here. Intel's trying to climb, Joe Papa said. INTC. Yeah, pretty nice move from open here. I would say one of the better looking uptrends that we've seen today or just this morning in general. Let's see that SPY action. 1 minute, SPY really dipped down at first. I would think, though, that would be pretty good to try to curb these prices. So let's see if crude oil falls off a bit. That's really what I'm waiting for here. Of course, crude oil on TradingView isn't really what we need to be looking at. There we go. Yeah, still just sitting up there around resistance on oil. Right around 98 a barrel. It's been pretty big resistance today. There goes SPY, though, coming back a bit on the 1 minute, which is good. Like I said, that's more positive news than negative. So many gifts, too. The guy's a legend. Yeah, he is. I can't believe all the stuff about him, for sure. If the next person is like that, it's going to be pretty funny, too, I have a feeling. Because if the next one is, you know, Trump appointed, it's probably going to be a pretty funny character. Or at least, well, I know Trump appointed Powell, but, you know, with all the talk on rate cuts and stuff, I'm curious the way that Trump goes on this. You know, if he picks a wild character for it, it's going to be pretty funny. It'll really... I have a feeling we'll see memes 2.0. Intel's dancing on your cost basis? Around 44.70, 44.50? On a big zone of support for Intel. It's really good to see it get out of that $18 to $20 zone, though. My word, that was a crazy zone for Intel. Tesla on the daily chart, we can see Tesla is still holding major support. I know I look at this one quite a bit, but I like to still, you know, show it because it's held up a lot, and Tesla is testing it at the moment. I'm sure there's a lot of people looking to go long on this dip off support. Intel's trying to climb. Let's see, INTC. Mark Wayne Mullins testifying. Who's that? What are they testifying on here today? If you haven't already, smash the like and subscribe buttons and let's support the channel. Appreciate you, Joe Papa. Yeah, it's going to be a big day. Remember, we're actually going to be going live again later in the day as well for the FOMC interest rate decision and Jerome Powell's speech. I'll be going live at 1:45 p.m. Eastern. Or sorry, yeah, 1:45 p.m. Eastern or 12:45 p.m. Central Time. We'll be live until Powell's done speaking. It's going to be a big day, a big event. KO, how we doing? Nice to see you today. Intel did have a good move. Unfortunately, it really rejected off resistance there. Tesla, Nvidia. How's Palantir today? Up 0.26%. We're going to start looking at weird stocks today because, you know, the market's not really doing much. Walmart pulling back 1% at the moment. Walmart, Target kind of just flat. Costco's down a little bit. Let's see Costco here. Looks like they were in a broader wedge. Oh gosh, and they're really testing like the end of it right now. Falling out of it kind of. Costco. Fun stock. Has some pretty decent moves over the past couple years. You can see some obvious uptrends that came into play. Lately, though, it's had a pretty rough 25 and 26. Hasn't really, you know, had that momentum that we'd want to see. Are you trying to say Intel and Palantir are weird? How dare you? Greta.
How dare you?
Oh man, Sean, you awoke her. She was in her slumber and you woke her up now.
How dare you?
Oh, double for Intel and Palantir. Palantir looks pretty good on the daily. I can't lie. It's looking great. I know a lot of people are looking at Palantir here off of this dip, and it's up a lot on the recovery already, almost like halfway back up. It's pretty good recovery. So from the recent low, let's see, Palantir is up 23%. At the peak, Palantir was up 27%. That's a pretty good move. To get all the way to the high, it would need to go up 64%. And to get to the upper end of the range, it needs to go up to 51%. So essentially double the amount that it's up now. Bank of America pulled back 47.82. Pulling back up really good today. Those banks have been choppy down in this lower zone. It's good to see this intraday recovery, though. That's great price action coming into play. I do have to say I woke up this morning a bit upset because Team USA lost last night. That one had me a little bit upset. They were playing Venezuela in baseball for the WBC championship, and Venezuela got it. Not gonna lie, I was a bit salty on that one. Yeah, they were bad. You don't know RGC, but they're moving? Let's see. Oh, you know, Alexio, I didn't even think about that. That's the country we literally just did that to. I did not even think about that. RGC, Region Cell, Bioscience Holdings. Wow. Looking at the daily. What a name. Looking at the daily chart, it's really popped off here. What the? Okay, that must have been a weird situation. But going over here, it's been recovering and popping in a pretty good way here. It's like 2026 had a great initial move this year. Right now, it's moving up well, 21% on the day. It loves this lower zone of support. I mean, it really loves it. If it starts to break under there, cut. But I think you could probably hold off this support for a potential move higher. But if it does start to break down, I would get out. I would not bag hold or anything on this one unless you're willing to average in over the long term and you have a more long-term outlook on it. Never heard of it before till just now, but it is definitely one that piques my interest in the price action that it has. Rip Aaron Judge. Yeah, I have Judge on my fantasy team this year, so I'm a bit upset. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be screwed. Yeah, he's already known for that. All right, Tessie, back to you. One of the better movers of the Mag 7 today. Popping up. Tessie doesn't seem to really care what the market does a lot of the times, I've noticed. It just likes to do it at once. It has good correlation with SPY. And, you know, if the overall market's dying really hard, it makes sense. A lot of stocks are going to go down. But, you know, in general here, Tesla's been outperforming. Especially today, over its Mag 7 peers, definitely outperforming. Again, though, holding well above 400. If you are looking to go long here, you know, if it starts to break under either this intraday support at like 401.40 or at 400, cut. I wouldn't hold it pay beyond that given the volatility we've been seeing. It'd be really good to keep holding 400 though, even if there is a slight pullback. SPY under 670 right now. Fell under that zone on that pre-market move. Came up at open, tried to essentially test that zone. Could not get much going. Just stuck here at the moment. Some Mag 7s are starting to turn up a bit. That's probably why we're seeing SPY attempt to move. We can see Google kind of bottoming off here at 310, trying to pop. Microsoft's actively rising intraday. Tesla, of course. Nvidia's kind of popping back. So while a lot of them have not been positive today, they are starting to come back. So that's applying some upside pressure for SPY. We'll see if it continues or not, though, because of course they could always shift right back down. But there are a few starting to come up off these dips. SoFi West says, SOFI. SoFi, 3.31%. It looks like they're in a big zone that I have on the daily chart. And yes, they are. Bouncing off of big support, actually. I've had this zone marked here for a couple days. recent, or it's not a recent big money trade. Never mind. It was back from December. It's gonna expire tomorrow or Friday. That'll be a interesting end there. They entered on December 17th. They got 26 strike puts on SoFi, and SoFi did die off. It's pretty fire for that play. I'm just going to take it off, though, because it's essentially over. Same with this one. Love the zone of support. This is a big zone. Yeah, so for everybody just now joining up, today is the FOMC interest rate decision and Jerome Powell press conference. It starts at 2 p.m. Eastern time. I will be live here at 1:45 p.m. Eastern, so be ready. Set your alarms. We'll have the interest rate decision live, and then we'll have Jerome Powell himself live as well. RCAT earnings tonight, along with MU as well. Look at Micron on the daily. Started blasting to the upside, up through resistance. It's going to be a big report. They're going to have a lot on their plate. Can they beat the beat? I think that's the big question. Sorry about that, guys. Had a cough there. Good guy says market rebalance on Friday will be interesting since the market hasn't moved much for a while. Yeah, it will. We're going to have triple witching coming out Wednesday, guys. Triple witching. Going to get stock options, stock index futures, and I think stock index options. All three expiring on Friday. Triple witching day. Going to be a big rebalance going on into that, so be ready. Some people like to look at that as being a more of like a indicator for extra volatility hitting the market, maybe more up and down, more wild type of price action. Maybe, like, let's say if there's a big downside move, maybe it would be accelerated by this event. So just keep it on the radar. Just, be a bit ready. Blue chip. Did something weird happen with the GitLab big money play? And I'm reading the chat. The wrong chat. Nvidia is gaining strength, hostile access. NVDA. That's a good move by Nvidia. Up 0.52%. That looks really solid. Nvidia up to 183.27. That's a pretty good pop. Nvidia is really starting to come alive intraday, dragging the market up a bit more. SPY. Rocket Labs giving up all its gain. I know, I saw that earlier. RKLB down 8.47% now. Wow. Yeah, it gave all of it back now, essentially. That is quite the drop off continuing to play out. Looks like it might not even stop here. Bank of America pulled back slightly. A lot of these banks were popping off well earlier on today. RADA, Xavier says. What does that mean? Does that mean something specific? Palantir touched resistance, slowed down a bit. LITE's back up slightly. Notice they're back up to 12%. See if they can keep the momentum going or not. They're testing big intraday support at the moment. AMD's been rocketing here, up to $200 plus, up 2.08%. Looking at the daily, AMD is on a big support. The support zone on AMD that it's bouncing off of is critical. A big spot for AMD, holding very well. Major zone of support. Maybe JP will come out with some confidence for us. Who knows? He needs to go out on a good note. I'm sure he doesn't care about that, though. At this point, I don't think he cares. Those old deepfake videos used to be hilarious of Jerome Powell walking on stage. He would walk out on stage and start saying wild stuff. Those videos were pretty funny. Somebody mentioned ZS. A 0.5% today. Looking at the daily, it's pretty low. Wow. There it is. Yeah, that's kind of what he'd say, Sean. You know. Some of that stuff was so funny. I have a couple here that I found, but I don't think we're going to be playing them, unfortunately. The deep fakes have been taken down by most things out there. You have to go to TikTok to find them right now. Or weird websites. Iranian president confirms that the intelligence minister was killed. Every day there's a new big one gone. Wild time out here in the market. Waiting for all these big headlines. Of course, we can't wait for the FOMC headlines, but what wild headlines are we going to start seeing from Trump about the Federal Reserve today? Or about the war? Maybe a war update? Tough to say. You know, you never know when a new update's going to hit, but every day we've been getting just about something. So I'm sure we'll see something large here. SPY down around its low of the day. Pushing lower. Watch for 667. Low of this morning. In pre-market, actually. Below there, I'm looking for 665.50 to 666. And then 662 to 662.50. Below that, SPY is going to be in a pretty big downward zone there. It's going to be well below the recent low. Let's look at this downtrend on the SPY. Kind of hit this morning. Oh, it did hit. Look at that. That doesn't really line up well. Just so you can just see the overall channel in a bit of a better way, though, with it there. Either way, the downtrend, the upper side, is what to look at. If the situation with Powell goes awry today, and who knows, maybe Powell will go out with some fireworks saying that, you know, inflation's going to go crazy and all this, and he'll cause some major pullback. Look right here. Keep your eyes right here, because this is a big low zone. If that gives out today, it's going to start looking nasty for the overall market. Hopefully Powell can help instill some confidence or something. That would be the big hope. What do you think about the food price hike happening at the end of this year? Good guy said. The food price hike. I mean, is that just a, you know, thought? Is it like a conspiracy? If we do see that happen, I think that would be pretty terrible. But I don't know how you're coming up with that. Trump will call him too late Powell. Yeah, he will. Oh, lack of fertilizer. I see. I gotcha. Yeah, that will be pretty big, won't it? I don't know what we'll be doing there. You know, if you can't have food from fertilizer, we're going to have to start eating all that Beyond Meat stuff. Just kidding. Speaking of Beyond Meat, let's see. Oh, wow. Still very low. Very, very, very low. Still kind of dying off, too. They've been consolidating a bit. That's why I said kind of dying off, but it's still in that broader downtrend. VLO's moving on the big money trade. Love it. Love it, Mets. Yeah, we had a couple VLO trades lately. I like the call one, obviously, is the better one here, given the oil situation. VLO doing pretty great. Up to 241.50. Keep it going, VLO. How's USO today? Nice. Pop back 3.02%. Look at the 1 minute. USO's moving higher here at this second. No farmers have been given the go-ahead. Farmers have been given the go-ahead to raise prices after the election because farmers have been hurting, good guy said. I have not seen that. I don't know how you could just say that to all farmers, like just be like, hey, it's okay to raise prices. Maybe that is a possibility, but I'll keep that in mind, you know, as I go into the end of this year, like the middle point to end. That will be pretty big if prices do rise a lot on food. I know that that'll hurt consumers, and we'll probably see inflation start popping again if that's the case, especially with oil high and that high at the same time. Sounds like a pretty bad combination. And if those start rising, we'll be in stagflation mode. Some people say we're already there. It was part of the big, beautiful bill. Okay. Start with Greta. Yeah. Talking about farmers and fertilizer and anything like that.
How dare you?
Couldn't help it. Tesla's under 400 now. Unfortunately, Tesla pulled back. Look at it sticking under 400. Look at that volatility here. Very flat price action. I guess it's not volatility, more of a squeeze, as in squeezing together, not really able to move or pop either way at the moment. We'll see if it gets out of this small zone of consolidation, but it's definitely using 400 as resistance right there, which is not a good sign initially. Kind of like right here, how it's popped through and then used it as support for a little while, for those couple minutes before popping off. Now it's using it as resistance almost before breaking back down. We'll see though how it ends up going. Been very choppy around that zone today. SPY still looks pretty weak, down 0.5%. Ever since it tried to pop and touch 670, it has failed and fallen off. The downtrend looks pretty solidified here on the day. I'm definitely leaning more to the downside than I am the upside. Of course, everything can change with time though. This crazy market. There goes SPY. New low of the day achieved here. We're getting down towards 665.50 to 666. Uh-oh. SPY was just trading for 666.66 a second ago. That's not good. Lots of sixes out there. Almighty J says, on Freaky Friday week, no less. Yeah, some people call triple witching Freaky Friday, believe it or not. Sean said UVXY is in freak out mode. Citigroup forecast Brent oil at 110 to 120 as Middle East tensions rise. Iran threatens new escalation after Israel strikes its gas field. It warns it'll escalate the conflict in new ways. Whoa. Yeah, look at this headline coming through from Walter Bloomberg. Iran threatens new escalation after Israel strikes gas field. Iran warns it will escalate the conflict in new ways following Israeli strikes on the South Pars gas field, the world's largest, shared with Qatar, according to Tehran's military command. Definitely not good. We'll see what their new ways are. I don't know. UVXY is popping it off though, Sean. Loving this price action, up 9.85%. The put players must be rejoicing right now with the SPY selling off the way that it is. Getting nasty out there, guys. All ahead of JP later on. So you know what that means. Set your alarms for later today, because it's going to be an even more exciting event now that the market's getting crazy. The SPY going down. Here's what the put players are saying today.
Go ahead. Make my day.
In a very ominous tone. Make my day. Yeah, Sean will be around. Yeah, hop in the Discord later too. I'm sure it's going to be crazy in there as well. But I'll have the market and JP side by side. Wild pullback. Now we're getting to support zone, like I said, even though the SPY just had that massive drop. We are on my next support here. This is my next larger level that I'm watching. 665.50 to 666. SPY has bounced a few times here lately. Doesn't mean it's going to hold today for sure, but we've seen bounces here. So you might see a small intraday bounce like what we're seeing now before a larger pullback. Jake says just no 6-7s. That's funny. One sec, guys. I'm going to take a drink of water real fast. Good morning, Almighty. JP, Jerome Powell, generating jackpots. Any JP plays today? That's a pretty funny name. Jerome Powell's jackpots. Yeah, definitely seems more like a UVXY type of day at this moment, or SPY puts. If we get a slight uptrend, maybe enter into the overall downwards move. Iran just threatened that new escalation, though. That's pretty big news coming up here today. Iran threatens new escalation in quotes after Israel strikes gas field. Conflict heating up. Wonder how the Strait of Hormuz is going to go now with that happening. Of course, that's already been having issues. So we'll see maybe if they hit that more. Look at that bounce there with SPY, though. 666, 665.50. Holding up. That zone's looking good. That was the low of pre-market yesterday, actually. SPY's falling off your phone. It took me a minute to understand what you meant there by that. I get it. And now I get it. Like, literally going down so much it's going to go through your phone screen. Go IFMU again. Micron. Starting to see tech just really consolidate and fall here. Looking at the Mag 7 setup, Nvidia was ripping it off there, but pulled back very hard, as did everything. Tesla, Meta, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, all of them down. Intraday, Apple looks like a good candidate for a continuation play to the downside. Same thing with Amazon. Both look pretty good to the downside intraday. It's consolidating hard here, but I could see it continuing to slide. Same thing with Amazon. Amazon's starting to push down lower too. It is pushing a good area of support, but I could see it giving out. Not what you want to see if you're a bull today, but that's okay, because, you know, as a trader, you have to adapt. For the long term, you don't necessarily have to totally adapt, but for the short term, you definitely do. Amazon down to 211.80. Baidu's bouncing off of major support after announcing it's raising cloud storage prices. Baidu, you said. BIDU, along with other China stocks. I've been kind of eyeing them up in the short term on these dips. Baba's been down in a pretty big zone as well. I can't believe that in 3 months today, in 3 months, I'm going to be having a kid. Like, to this date. That's pretty wild. Well, a second kid. I just saw that Baba expired June 17th, and I was like, oh, wow, that's like when the baby's coming. Baby number 2. That's going to be great. Of course, I'm very excited for that. Hell yeah, guys. It's crazy how quick time goes, doesn't it? Time goes by too fast sometimes. Especially in the stock market. I don't know why. It just seems to really fly by. I guess because there's so much different things going on each day. QQQ, massive turnover here at 608. Big pullback. Down to 600 to 599. Yeah, Christina is 2.5. Essentially. She can say a lot of stuff now. She says Nvidia and Tesla and Elon and Trump and all types of stuff. Got to be careful what you say around her. She'll start repeating not so savory words as well. It is crazy, isn't it, Mason? Van World, let's go. She'll be trading soon, good guy said. I always said that I was going to let her crawl around and pick her stocks. Now that she's older, I might like literally let her pick. Just as like a joke for a couple of them. Her big thing, she likes Bluey and like Peppa Pig and stuff, so she'll probably be into like Disney or something. With all the money I'm about to spend at Disney World coming up, I need some Disney shares for sure. Disney's one of those companies though that's been really underperforming, so they need to really get their asses together. Pulling back here. I want to see him drop down into this zone between like $80 and $90. That would be beautiful again. I've traded him up a couple of times off of this lower support zone over the past couple to few years. Right now, I'm just in waiting mode again, waiting for him to make that dip down for a bigger move to come into play. Oh no, Wes. I don't have a name yet manicured. Not yet. It's probably going to be Thomas the Third, though. Since I'm junior. Yeah, Tesla really turned negative here. Watch it. It tried to curl back up, but it's starting to roll back over now, creating a bit of a dead cat bounce situation, almost like what we saw happen right here as it tried to curl back up and rejected right back. Same thing starting to happen here. Let's see if this can start to worsen. Nvidia is starting to look a lot worse intraday. Watch Nvidia. It's probably going to give out here at support and start to put pressure on the market given the selling that's coming in. SPY right back at the low of the day again. Might be pushing through. I'm T2, he'll be T3. Hopefully you guys have control of Skynet. That's hilarious. I'm thinking about naming him after my grandpa, which would make his name Eugene Thomas. And I like that name because then I can call him E.T. He can be E.T. Or Eugene Krabs. I know. I know. That's so funny. Mr. Krabs. You know what's funny? Growing up, my dad always reminded me of Mr. Krabs, actually. Like that, it's actually kind of a starking, like close comparison is what I meant to say. Gold is down pretty hard. Let's see. GLD. Yeah, very hard. Huge gap down on the day. 2.6%. Down a lot at the moment. Now, intraday, it hasn't done much from open. It's actually tried to pop up a little bit. But overall on the day, silver's down 3.3%. Gold's down 2.67%. Pretty big pullbacks coming into play. Again, I'm not surprised. I'm going to be honest. Not surprised at all. Now, things did kick off with the Middle East here a little bit last night and this morning, and that's kind of why the market was having trouble. But GLD and SLV falling down, it's a bit strange, right? What I like to do is I like to go back to the 2011 collapse with gold and silver, and I like to look at, okay, how did they move during that time? You know, you can see how up and down choppy gold got on the way to the downside. It didn't necessarily just die off right away. You know, it took some time to pull back in a larger fashion, but it had these weird up and down chops all throughout the bottom end of its initial range that it formed on the first big drop. And the same thing happened with silver. You know, we go to silver, we go back to 2011, a similar thing happened. You know, it fell, made the big initial drop, and then just stayed within that entire range for most of the time until it started to really sell off under there. So that's kind of what I'm looking for again here to happen with gold and silver. They had those same type of insane parabolic moves and now dropped. Now what I'm expecting is, again, lots of chop in this lower zone. So watch out for silver as support comes up. We could end up seeing a bounce. Like, let's say that silver and gold get down towards support. Who knows? Maybe something will kick off even more with Iran, and it will force people to look at safe haven assets in a larger way. Tough to say. There's also a lot going on with Jerome Powell here. I'm assuming he's going to say a lot about inflation and the impact oil's going to have on it. If he doesn't, I assume people are definitely going to be asking him about it, that's for sure. There's going to be a lot of big questions from the reporters on this topic today. This actually might be my favorite Jerome Powell event that I've seen in a long time. See what's going on. Jerome Powell, hawkish, dovish, or black swanish? Probably hawkish. Very hawkish, probably. He's gonna swoop in like a bald eagle screeching, or a hawk screeching. Tesla pulling down, still consolidating intraday. Watch out though for it to break this consolidation point. Nvidia pulling back, sliding off here. Keep looking for Nvidia to continue the slide off. Harry said Jerome Powell with some devil faces. Jerome. Get ready for him later. I know he's a very influential character out here. Later, we're going to have some fun, so make sure you guys are joining back up. Like I said, 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be live again just before the interest rate decision at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Here's the calendar. We'll be live for that. We'll also have Jerome Powell as well. Thanks for the stream, J-Duck said. See you after lunch. Have a great one, J-Duck. Have a great one. Yeah, we'll be running up some polls initially whenever you guys join, so you get those votes in as soon as you join up later. It's going to be a fun event. But yeah, I am going to leave you guys there for the day. We'll be live later. We'll be coming back. Gonna go grab some brunch right now, I suppose. Maybe have a little pre-Powell snack later, too, before we hop back on. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your trading day. Go get out there. Get some stuff done. Learn some things. Get some fire trades in. Check out SPY at support here. This is a big level, 665.50 to 666. We've been talking about that on the way down, and it's still holding up. If it flushes under here, I think it could get a bit more fun down towards 662. Could have a plan for that in case it occurs later on. But other than that, have a great rest of your day. It's Wednesday. It's also Q&A day, so if you're interested, join up to that tonight if you're in the trading floor. It's hosted within the Discord channel. Join up. You can see exactly how Mike trades and ask him any type of question that you would want. Somebody ask some fun questions tonight. Seriously, I want to see some fun questions. Here's the link to join if you're not yet in. If you're not, join up. We have a lot going on. There's a lot of huge updates coming this year. You guys will see it. Don't worry. For those of you that are already in, you're going to love it. Other than that, see you guys.